Marcus Aurelius Meditations, Episode 14. Kai ta anektikon ton idioton kai ta atheoreton oiomenon, kai ta pros pantas el armaston, hoste kolakeas men pases, prosenesteron enai, ten hamelian autu. I de si motaton, de autois akenois parauton akenon ton chiron enai. Here Marcus Aurelius continues the things he has learned from Sextus, the philosopher from Chironea. He says, and I got from him ta anektikon. This is a substantive adjective, that is, a noun built on an adjective, and this means patient endurance or bearing with, and it is from the deponent verb on echomai, which means to bear with or endure. As you can see, it takes the genitive here, the masculine plural, and genitive, the bearing with those who are ton idioton. An early meaning of this word is private citizen or private individual, someone who is not participating in politics. But eventually it comes to mean raw hand, as the LSJ says, or even, as they suggest, ignoramus. So Sextus taught him long-suffering for foolish people. And now Marcus Aurelius varies the diction a little bit because oiomenon is a genitive like ton idioton, and oiomenon is dependent on ta anektikon, while ta atheoreton is the object of the participle oiomenon. So the bearing with ignoramuses and with persons who suppose or believe, hold as true that which is not examined, atheoreton. This is an alpha privative adjective. This is the adjectival ending. It has been substantivized, that is, treated as a noun. And I learned ta el armaston, meaning being well fitted or well adapted. The condition of being well adapted, and in keeping with the articular infinitive, we might suppose there is an enai implicit here. The being well adapted or well suited, pros pantas, so suitably flexible to the needs of others. Hoste, now this introduces a result clause. Hoste with a finite verb means an actual result, what really took place, whereas hoste with an infinitive speaks of a natural result, what is likely or probably the case, but hasn't necessarily happened yet. So then this was the result, kolakeas men pases. These two words here are feminine, singular, and genitive. And they are a genitive of comparison. Than all flattery, more mild, more pleasant, more agreeable, was conversation with him. This word, homilion, the nominative being homilia, gives us the English word homily after it comes through Latin, and it means conversation or fellowship, association. It is not as close and intimate a word as koinonia. So tein homilion is the subject of the infinitive. Infinitives always have accusatives as subjects. So hoste here is a natural result with the infinitive, introducing a natural result, so that conversation with him was more pleasant, more mild, than any kind of flattery. And this adjective is the nominative from the nominative pros enes, which means to be gentle or mild. Now comes the second part of the result clause. Hoste introduces two, men, enai, and de, enai. So now the second one. And akenon ton chiron, that's our subject of the infinitive enai, because it's accusative. That time spent, parauton, that time with him, was enai, idesimotaton, most useful, most venerable, most filled with respect. This one is a superlative adjective, unlike this one, which is comparative. The standard comparative ending of a Greek adjective when it's comparative, as I say, is teros, and the standard superlative ending is tatos, like so. So here we have a comparative and then the superlative. So his conversation was more gentle than all flattery, and time spent with him was very august, very worthwhile for the persons who actually spent time with him. One would have to think these were not the tone idiotone.